Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan, and I'm the host of the Daily Dime Show, NCAA Basketball. It is March Madness, and this is a time of year where it is just absolutely fun to get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I can't wait for tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to be lucky enough to be on a couple live in-game betting shows, Buster, and I'll probably have bags under my eyes the size of Gibraltar by the time we get to Sunday. But you know what? There's never a better time to not look your best than during March Madness. How's everything going for you, Buster?
I've actually, the past week, full disclosure, was a little bit of a bloodbath for me. I was doing really well in college basketball, almost had us up to about plus just under 100% in college basketball profit for my clients from the beginning of the year. And then Mr. Regression came and got me. I was talking a bit about it on the Puck Time show. Within 5 days, he kicked the living shit out of me. So good night last night, went 5-2. So hopefully we got rid of him. I told him to go bug somebody else from some other site. Nobody from Sports Memo or Wager Talk. Go pick on somebody else. So hopefully he's gone now, and we'll continue our. Like I say, I throw out those 5 days. We've been doing really well in college basketball, but we all know doing this for as long as we have. Sometimes he comes. You just hope he only comes a little for you. But he brought his whole army with him. So,
but keep in mind, folks, that he's up almost 100% ROI with his clients. So this is just like watching a bullish stock.
Well, I was. That's what I'm saying, John. I was in 5 days. We lost a little over half of it back. So that's what I'm saying. Regression came and got me big time.
But even after that, you're still up. And This is if anything, this is the time to get one of his subscriptions.
Probably,
and that's the point.
I would have to think so. Yeah.
Yep. And we both know that when we go through these regressions, that's the time to get on board with a 30-day subscription for sure. So I highly recommend you guys do that. They're discounted over at SportsMemo.com, and take advantage of it. Get us working for you starting tonight, and I know you'll be glad you did. All right, Buster, let's get to the Notre Dame Rutgers game. This is 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 11 versus the 11 play-in game. And both teams, I thought Rutgers earned a spot and would not be a play-in. However, they are the play-in. Notre Dame, I actually had almost not making it on my power ratings. And the ACC is the sixth toughest conference now out of the 32, and they had a big regression year. Duke is really the only quality team coming into the tournament out of the ACC. You look at the Big Ten where Rutgers plays, and they have 9 teams in the dance, which is outstanding. There's 14 teams in the Big Ten, and that's always a good trivia question if you want to get a free beer from somebody at the bar. Ask them what the Big Ten teams are. Most people stop when they name 10 and think they're smart. That's a good time to do it, too, during March Madness. If you see a guy drinking too many Guinnesses, there's your opportunity. But the opportunity in this game, Buster, I see with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And they're 18-13 on the season compared to Notre Dame, 22-10. The line opened with Rutgers as a 1-point favorite. It's now crossed over to Rutgers being a +1 underdog. The total 132 has gone up to 133.5. 64% of the bets so far are on Rutgers, and I think this is the only red flag I see, is that makes me think that the sharps are on Notre Dame. And anymore, I don't split the Joes and the pros, so to speak, anymore. It's one lump sum of money, because a Joe could put down 10 grand on a game. It doesn't necessarily mean he's a sharp, right?
Right.
So especially this time of the year, I don't put any extra emphasis trying to determine who the sharps are on, because it could include some very wealthy individuals that are just having fun. Anyway, we always have the matchup analysis, and this is a matchup of former Big East Conference rivals that fell into this play-in situation. The winner gets to play Alabama. Alabama had the toughest strength of schedule in the nation. And the winner of this has to go face them. I personally think Alabama is a vastly underrated team coming into this tournament as a 6 seed, nonetheless. Alabama will be favored by 7 should Rutgers win this game, and I see it 4.5 to 5 points as a favorite against Notre Dame. And I think that the Tide will roll in that game. So there's 2 picks for you. Rutgers, and then the winner of this taking on Alabama, I will fade. In the TNA, I always liked saying this. TNA is always revealing, Buster. Of course, I'm talking about trends and angles. Notre Dame head coach Bray is a money-burning 10-28 against the spread when playing on a neutral court setting in a game with a total between 130 and 139.5. 4-15 against the spread in a neutral court when the total is between 130 and 135. With that said, I am on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now let's take over to Buster's game here, which is in the NIT. This is Iona taking on the University of Florida Gators, who have to be a little bit disappointed that they're not in the big dance. A little bit of a surprise there, in my humble opinion. They went 19-13 on the season, 15-17 against the spread. They're going up against an Iona team that obviously played at a much weaker conference. The SEC was the second toughest conference this year, and there was no one even close to what my power ratings say for the Big 12. They went 25-7 on the year, 16-16 against the spread in those 32 games. They're 7-4 on the road, but only 3-8 away from home against the spread. So, Buster, tell us where we should put our money in this game.
Well, John, we're going to go with the underdog here, getting 6.5 with Iona. Actually, we had this number at 4.5, and now what happens is head coach Mike White, he resigns on Sunday, and he's going to go to an SEC rival in Georgia, which mentally for these kids, I got to believe that's tough. You know, they don't, as you said, you know, this tournament they probably were expecting or maybe hoping to be I'm pretty sure they were always kind of on the outside looking in anyways on that bubble for the big dance. But still, mentally after when you're head coach, this was on Sunday. He leaves and now you got to go play a game on Wednesday. Just don't know how motivated they can be for this one here. Iona took a bad loss. They were the champs of the Metro Atlantic. And they took a bad loss. They were 11.5-point favorites and lost in the quarterfinals by a point. And we know they have a Hall of Famer. A lot of people don't like him, but Mr. Rick Pitino is their head coach at Iona. And got to believe that he's going to, it's an NIT, so he's going to get these kids motivated, I believe, for this game. And especially going to be able to take advantage of maybe a Florida club that might be just in a little bit of disarray. Going down the stretch, Florida didn't look good at all. They were 3-5 down the stretch, while Iona was 6-2 down the stretch with that upset loss. And actually, those 2 losses, it was a combined 3 points that they lost by. These two, and it's funny that I did not know what game you were going to be taking, John. And it's funny that you mentioned about Alabama being the team like after the Rutgers Notre Dame game. Well, these two teams both played Alabama. Mind you, I know it was earlier in the year. Alabama went into Florida and beat them by 13. Iona played Alabama in Orlando in a tournament, and Iona won by 4. Now, I know that's just like maybe a 5% of your handicap to look at stuff like that, but it is interesting now that we have an Iona club who could be more motivated than especially a Florida club that to us will not be motivated. That's a little interesting stat or a little trend there for you. Here's another little trend. Iona are 10-2 on the road as an underdog. Give us the points here. We'll take the 6.5, and don't be surprised if Iona wins this one outright.
A little sprinkle on the money line, perhaps?
Yeah, you might want to do that.
All right, that's good stuff, Buster. And there you have it. We actually gave you 3 picks. Alabama plays the winner of Alabama is the bet to take against the winner of the Notre Dame game. And then we also have the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as my bet. Buster is on Iona plus the 6.5 and a little sprinkle on the money line. So that'll take care of the Daily Dime show for NCAA Basketball for Wednesday, March 16th. 2022 will be back tomorrow with another edition of the Daily Dime. And until then, remember two things always. Bet with your head, never over it, and may all the wins be yours. It's simple.